Are you wondering what books I like to keep on my bookshelf? Do you have your favorite genealogy books? Or wondering what maybe that next purchase should be? Well, you're in the right place. We are going to be talking about genealogy books today, and I will be sharing some of my favorites and also some of my recommendations. Hi, I'm Lisa Lisson with Are You My Cousin? And I strive to take the overwhelm out of your genealogy research. Now, before I start talking about books, I would love it if you'd hit that subscribe button. That way you won't miss any videos that I post here to the Are You My Cousin YouTube channel. Now, with some of my favorite books, I'm going to be sharing with you specific books that I like to keep close, but I'm also going to be sharing with you the types of books that I like to have close by when I'm doing research. Some of the books that I use are very specific to a location that I might be researching, and so I want to share with you the types of books I use as well. Now, one of the first things that I keep nice and close at hand is actually a digital ebook. It is Black's Law Dictionary. I use the first and or the second edition. They are found on Google Books for free. They are in the public domain. Now, printed early 1900s, late 1800s, these are perfect for me as a genealogy researcher because we know that when we are researching and analyzing documents, we have to understand every single legal term that is mentioned. And sometimes those legal terms, those more archaic terms, either we don't know at all or they have a different meaning today in today's legal world. So it's important we understand what they meant at that time that they were written. And Black's Law Dictionary is perfect for that. And again, it is online, it's at Google Books, it's easily accessible, and it's free to use. So that's a really nice book that you want to have close at your fingertips when you're researching. Now, another book that I like to keep close is the North Carolina Genealogy Research book by Helen Leary. Now, I am primarily a North Carolina researcher. That's where I started. It's where I've had my most experience. And this book, though, is beyond just North Carolina research. So yes, it's very specific as far as the types of records and where to find them and the laws around the records and why they were, the records were created. It's very detailed information and it's fantastic. I don't think I could research in North Carolina without it. But it also has a lot of methodology in it. So Helen Leary is a very well-known genealogy researcher here in North Carolina, and this book is fabulous when it comes to understanding not just North Carolina, but good research methodology. So if you're a North Carolina researcher, you absolutely want to get this book. If you are not a problem. I want you to consider the type of book. I want you to consider if something like that exists for where you live and if that might be an option for you to find, because these can be very helpful so that you understand. It's a quick resource. I can look a lot of things up online, but sometimes, guys, quite frankly, I'm quicker just to flip through the book when I know the book and know it well than I am to do a full-on Google search for a particular piece of information. So I would encourage you to seek out what might be available for your area as well. Now, I also like to have Elizabeth Shown Meals' Evidence Explained book on my bookshelf. Now, this is so that I can make sure when I am writing up my findings that I can have the correct citation so that I know how to find those items again should I need to go back to it. If someone else is reading my research, they can find that information as well. And certainly, in the future, I want people to, if they are looking at the research that I've done, to understand that it is cited, that the source is that the information comes from a source. Here is the source so that they can make that decision for themselves if they want to trust that particular information or not. So I like to keep that one very close at hand so that I can make sure I'm doing meeting the professional genealogy standards, but also so that I can help other future genealogy researchers be able to find the information better, as well as just assess what I have done in an easier manner for them. Now, I also like to keep a gazetteer close at hand. Now, as you can imagine, I have the North Carolina Gazetteer because that's where I do so much research. But a gazetteer, basically, it's like a dictionary of places in the state. And it can tell us, the beauty of it is it can help you understand when you are researching and you maybe a deed and it mentions a river or a creek, but you really don't know where that is or what that is. The gazetteer will usually have that listed somewhere in there. It can tell you where something originated. It can tell you where it's located. It can tell you, are there 10 Bush Creeks in North Carolina? Well, it can tell you where each of those originated so you can determine which one might apply to your research. Additionally, it is fabulous for telling you if the names of things and locations have changes. Towns did change names. Rivers could be known by 2 or 3 different names over history. So the gazetteer is very good at helping me recognize, okay, this river, why is it called? You know, in one reference it's one name, but in another it's a different name, but I thought it was all in the same area, and that can help me sort of sort out those types of issues when I'm researching. So it saves me time and gets me going right away. This is another one I like to have a hard copy of. I can absolutely Google these things, but sometimes, again, when I'm in my home office, I'm quicker just to grab the book and go through the book, just because it's alphabetized, it's easy to do. So that there are some times when, yes, I can Google the information, but sometimes it is quicker to have the information in a hard copy. Now, there are gazetteers for many locations and states, and so I would encourage you to seek out the ones that might be pertinent to your location that you research. But I think that's going to be something that you're going to appreciate having close at hand when you research. Now, the other type of book that I would encourage you to have at hand, close at hand, is a local history book. So for the U.S. researchers, these would be the county histories. If you're a non-U.S. researcher, I would encourage you to seek out the types of local history books that might be for the area or the country or the region that you are researching. The reason I want a county history close by is because it provides me with much of the social history that I need for my research. It can tell me who settled an area. It can tell me what an area is known for. It can tell me if there's a predominant industry. It can tell me the predominant families. It might give me biographies of certain families. The types of information can vary quite a bit, but it's crucial to understand the area where your ancestors lived in order to make sure you are researching thoroughly and to understand your ancestors, to understand why they came to that area and what types of records they might have generated. Search Google Books for the county histories that you might be interested in. It's just put in the name of the county and history and see what you find. There are a number of them out there, and many of them, the ones that we need as genealogy researchers, oftentimes they're in the public domain. So we're looking for some of those earlier written ones. It's okay if they were written early. It's okay if they were written in the 1800s, because oftentimes that's when our research is central, and so we can pick up important details there. So I would encourage you to have a county history close at hand, either in a digital form or in a hard copy form. You can also find these at local libraries too, which you can get through interlibrary loans. So that's another option as well. But if you can have those close by, I think you're going to find those helpful with your research as well. Okay, guys, there you have it. I've given you some online options. I've given you my favorite actual hard copy books, what I like to have at my desk. Books are important to us as genealogy researchers. I know that oftentimes these days so much is digital, and we can absolutely search many of these things, but sometimes having that book there beside you or open in another tab on your laptop is actually quicker than having to go through the entire search process on Google. That said, I love a good Google search. You guys know I love that. But I find when I'm researching, there are certain types of books that are important for me to have close at hand so that I can reference them as I'm going through my research process. Okay, guys, I would love it if you don't mind putting in your favorite books down below in the comment section. I'd be curious what you like to have close at hand. It could be a specific book. It could be a type of book that you might want to have. I tried to get broad because I realized we are researching I have both U.S. and non-U.S. researchers who are watching, and I want to make sure I'm giving you a broad content and kind of thinking in terms of a strategy as opposed to specific books, but there are specific books that are definitely helpful to all of us out there. Okay, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in the next Are You My Cousin video. Have a great day, guys. Bye.